Hey, good morning, everybody. It's currently 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm here in Cebu, and I'm having this Facebook Live session just to talk about my own journey. I know a lot of you guys have been asking how I got started in freelancing, my own journey, and what I went through to become the freelancer that I am today. So I've shared this on a couple of Facebook pages and in Work at Home Pinoy's. We do have 11 viewers, so good morning, everybody. If you're here with us, if you can hear me, just say in the chat room, good morning, and then, maybe from what city you're in right now. So about our topic for today. So I wanted to take some time and just walk through my journey. Most of you know, if you've been following me, most of you know that as a freelancer, I earn 6 digits a month, so above 100,000 pesos a month. But I didn't start out that way. I built myself up to this point. But before I was freelancing, I was working in the call center. Like a lot of you guys, I've spoken to a lot of successful freelancers and aspiring freelancers, and a lot of us have worked in the call center. So, out of college, this was back in 2012. Wait, no, 2000 and not 2012. 2008. 2008. I graduated from accounting in college, but the first the first place that I went where people would say, you earn a lot of money, it was all the time. And even today, a lot of times people are going to say that where you earn money is at the call center. So I started working in e-telecare at that time. It became Stream, it became Convergys. Today it's known as Convergys. And I started out as a call center agent. Let me just double check something here. I'm noticing the comments are not coming up. So just give me 1 second. See right here, because by now there should be some people commenting on the post. So if you can hear me, yep, there are comments, but for some reason they're not coming up on my feed. Give me 1 moment here. Let me just double check things. I'll have to mute this. Oh, we have Rustam. Good morning, Christina. Yep, we have a lot of people here, and we have some questions. Okay, so I just wanted to double check that. Sorry about that. I'm going to try to get this sorted out a bit because I can't really see your questions right now with the BeLive software. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Late Rustam, Christina, Dudesy, Enzo, Lynn, Erica, Mark, and everybody else who's watching. Okay, so like I said in my story, I first used to work in Convergys. I was a call center agent. I started out as a call center agent, initially doing outbound sales. So what we'd do is we'd call homes and try to sell them phone lines, and I hated doing that. I hated doing sales. It felt bad. And I ended up doing customer service. Eventually, I became a trainer. I trained call center agents to manage QuickBooks, to how to do accounting, QuickBooks, and stuff like that. And I also became a team manager. So I've been through a lot in the call center. I worked there for around 6 or 7 years. And by the time I left, my salary was around 50,000 pesos a month. So I was earning a lot in the call center. But I did leave. And there are a number of reasons why I did leave, and I do want to share them with you. There's Lynn, yes, e-telecare Stream. I was in Eastwood in 2009, 2010, I think, for a little while. Anyhow, I did quit, even though I got promoted, I got bonuses. And by the time I quit, so I moved from Convergys to JP Morgan Chase. And They paid a lot better there. So by the time I left, I was earning like 50K a month. And the reason I left, there are a number of reasons I left. One of the major reasons was I hated working the night shift. I hated it. After a few years, it takes your toll on your body. You're tired a lot. You don't get proper sleep because you're sleeping during the daytime and going to work at night. And I couldn't really take that anymore. Aside from that, I did feel that I was getting underpaid as in the call center. I know I was earning a lot, but in any corporate environment, like in the call center, in any corporate environment, there's a lot of politics. There's a lot of office politics, right? So when I was there, like I was performing better than a lot of other people, but because of politics, I wasn't getting the promotions I thought I should be. So that was another reason. And also, it was very stressful. Once you start taking on manager positions in the call center, you're responsible for 20, 25 people. If something goes wrong, it's your fault. So there was a lot of stress doing that job. But I'd say the number one reason was I didn't like working in an environment where other people were controlling me. I didn't have my own freedom and independence. I had to work the night shift. I had to do what other people wanted me to do. Even if I performed well, other people were getting promoted because of office politics. So those were the reasons I left. At the same time, though, that's when when I was in the call center, that's when I started to learn about freelancing. So I was doing both freelancing and call center work at the same time. Like during the weekends or after shift, I do some freelancing. And at that time when I started doing freelancing, I think I saw an ad on one of the forums in Cebu, Historia.net. It's a forum in Cebu where a lot of people discuss and talk, and I saw about this online jobs, online work kind of thing. So I got interested in it. At that time, it was Odesk, and then I went on Odesk, and there was no information at all. There was no help at all when it came to freelancing. I had to learn everything on my own. Like this whole system was new to me. So you guys are really lucky. You guys right now who are watching, you guys are really lucky because there are the groups, there are Facebook groups like Work at Home Pinoys. There are free courses like my own free course and paid courses. I have paid courses as well to help you out because at that time I had to learn everything on my own. So those, if you talk to the original, I don't know what to call them, the senior freelancers who've been freelancing for like 5 years or more, they're going to tell you that you guys are lucky because you have all these resources. By the way, I'm still seeing people joining. Good morning, my buntag. If you have any questions for me, please type them in the comments so that I can answer questions. Because, well, one of the main reasons I'm doing this is because I want to answer your questions, not just share my story, but answer your questions as well. Okay. So going back to my story, when I found out about freelancing, it was really difficult. I didn't right now I know web design, I know SEO, I know social media, I know all these other skills, but at the time I didn't know them. I had to start from scratch. I started doing general work. At that time, I didn't even call it virtual assistant work. Nowadays, we'd call it virtual assistant work. That's why I have the free VA course down there for VA work. But at the time, it was still like admin and office work. I knew how to do Microsoft Office. I knew how to do Microsoft Excel. And because of my training in Convergys, I knew how to use QuickBooks as well. So those were the things I focused on initially to get these online jobs. And I was able I'm just going to copy and paste the questions here on the side. Copy and paste. I'll answer these later. I found out more about these other jobs because I was doing research, right? I went on Odesk. I saw, some of these clients are looking for web design work. So that's when I started learning web design. And I learned about SEO and all these other things. So it was just one thing after another. I didn't know initially where I would end up. Like right now, I do Facebook ads a lot. I do landing page optimization and sales funnel optimization. But at the time, when I first started, I was still doing Microsoft Office things, copy and paste work, like from PDF to Excel and things like that. So it's one step at a time. I noticed that a lot of the newbies, a lot of you guys are still, they're still, I want to get into this. I want to learn how to do, I don't know, Amazon stuff right away. And some people can learn that. Some people can jump right in. They can say they're good enough to learn it. But for most people, just they have to go one step at a time. So don't worry if you see all these people earning hundreds of thousands of pesos a month or 50,000 pesos a month. You'll get there. It may take some years, but if you hang in, you can also get there. Because like those of us who have been here for a while, we had to do everything on our own. We had to learn everything on our own. It's just recent that there are these support groups and support websites that we have right now. Some other things I did after I left the call center, I was doing freelancing on the side. At that time, I was earning something like between 25 and 35,000 a month doing freelancing. But at the time when I quit the call center, a lot of former call center agents were going to Singapore. And I still think it's going on right now, where a lot of people are going to Singapore, trying to find work in Singapore. And if you're around my age, you can relate. Early 30s, you can relate. A lot of people went to look for jobs at that time in Singapore. And I also went to Singapore. I was like, hey, I quit the call center. I'm doing freelancing, but at the time I wasn't, and I'm still not married. I wasn't married. I didn't have any kids. So I said, hey, you know what? Everybody's trying this. Why don't I do it? And if it doesn't work out, I still have freelancing. I'm earning okay. So I went to Singapore. I worked there for like a year. I didn't like it. It was too stressful. And I went to the States. And in the States, I worked for a while, for a few months, but I quit because after you go into freelancing, you try working in an office again, you just can't really. There's so much freedom. There's so many benefits of freelancing that if you try going back to work in an office environment, you're just it's not gonna feel right. So I couldn't handle it. I quit when I was in the States again from work. But what I did when I was there is I also built up my freelancing business, and I learned from freelancers. So the best thing about my time in the US is that I interacted with so many different freelancers, and I also interacted with clients, and I learned from freelancers, because in the Philippines we didn't have the freelancing community yet, but live in the States for a very long time. So when I was there, I met so many different freelancers. I saw how they worked. And a lot of these freelancers were top earning freelancers. They were earning like $10,000 and above per month. So that's like $500,000 pesos a month. So these were, even for Americans, these were top earning freelancers that I met. And I saw how they worked. I saw their work ethic, their discipline. I saw how they did their business. And that's when I really learned how to become a top earning freelancer. I learned the secret to earning really like a lot of money through freelancing. And that's what you guys have the opportunity right now. Those who are watching, you have the opportunity to learn from top freelancers. Well, I have my courses. That's where I teach more. I do provide some help sometimes, but in the Work at Home Pinoy's group, there are so many people that you can learn from. So that's another advantage that you guys have right now that I didn't have at the time. And the only time I was able to get that advantage was when I went to the US and met other freelancers there. And I also talked to clients. I met different clients. And it was a great learning experience for me. So when I went back to the Philippines, I came back here 2 years. I think it's 2 years now. I carried with me the same habits, the same business practices, and the same attitude I did what I learned from the freelancers in the US. And that's basically how I got to where I am today. Nowadays, I earn, in like 100,000 pesos a month is not a lot in the US. It's actually very little, but here in the Philippines, it's a lot. So when I charge my clients different rates, they still find it very affordable. Like I can charge one client $500 a month to do some work. And if I have 4 clients, and that $500 a month, I usually just spend maybe 4 hours a day at first, working for them. And eventually it becomes like 2 hours a day and 1 hour a day. And I can get multiple clients. So it's pretty easy to scale up. Once you learn the secrets, basically, I'd say. It's pretty easy to scale up and earn a lot of money in a short period of time. There are a couple of you guys asking how to get started. If you look at that text, I'm not sure if I'm going to point at this correctly because there's like a 5-second delay or 10-second delay, but there's some text underneath my face. If you're new here, check the freevacourse.com to get the free guide on how to get started. So if you're new, just go there. I do have a free course there that'll teach you how to get started freelancing as a virtual assistant. So please take that. Okay, so once again, I'm going to be answering questions. So please feel free to ask questions, and I will definitely answer them. So let me start with Chris Gogo Acebo. How did you find out about freelancing and what made you decide to make the transition? And I answered this in my story earlier. I found out about freelancing just through online forums. I've always been an internet addict, I'd say, even before Facebook, before Friendster, before all these different social media websites. I was a very active user of the internet, still am. And on a Filipino forum, Cebuano forum, story.net, there were people talking about freelancing and said, hey, online work. And I found out, hey, what's this Odesk thing? And I explored it, and that's how I found out about freelancing. And what made you decide to make the transition? So I didn't really decide on making the transition right away. When I was still working, I did freelancing on the side. I thought it would be I didn't even plan for it to be like my full-time thing. I just planned for it to be like part-time on the side, extra income lang, So I did it after shift. I did it on the weekends. And when I realized that there were just so many benefits to freelancing compared to working in a corporate environment, that's when I saw that, hey, I don't need to work in an office to earn a lot of money. And in fact, I can earn more just by doing freelancing, working at home, and doing these things. So it wasn't really like one day I decided to make the transition. It was more of one day I realized, it was more of a realization because I was doing both at the same time. And one day I just realized that why am I still working in an office? Why am I trying to succeed in the corporate environment when I don't need to? And this was something new to me, like it is for probably like it is for most of you. I never imagined that freelancing was an option or working at home was an option, because it was just something very new. So that's why I didn't really decide. I just realized one day that there's no reason for me to work in an office. And a lot of you may realize that as well. If you're doing both at the same time, try to think, how much time are you spending in the office? How much are you earning from that? How stressful it is. And if you're freelancing, you can compare that. Compare and say, how much time am I spending freelancing? How stressful is freelancing? And do I really need to be working in an office? What if I quit my job and did freelancing full time? So that's a decision that a lot of you will have to make on your own. And this connects to Anna Serviano's question. Anna Serviano asked, when is the right time to quit the corporate world and start focusing on freelancing? So there are benefits of working in the corporate world. Like in my case, I was already earning a lot as in the call center, as a manager in the call center, right? And now that I'm aware of the benefits of freelancing, I'd say the time to quit is when you know that when you've really made the decision to freelance and you know what you want to focus on as a freelancer, then you can quit the corporate world and start focusing on freelancing. So let me take a step back here. There are probably different scenarios, okay? If you're earning 20,000 pesos a month or below in the corporate world, then I'd say you should start freelancing as soon as possible, because it's very, very easy to hit 20,000 a month doing freelancing. The time you should quit then should be when you have some savings. You should have savings, just save some money. I'd say at least 50,000 pesos as an emergency fund before you quit your job and you focus full-time on freelancing, because it may take time for you to really figure out how freelancing can work for you. And that 50,000 pesos is like a buffer for, and it could be less, it could be more, depending on how much you spend every month. So it could be 30, it could be 100. But you should have that buffer of like 3 months worth of expenses, just to make sure that the time when you're learning, because you will go through a learning process. You won't immediately become very good right away. And unlike in the corporate environment where you have trainers to guide you, you'll be learning on your own. So it can take time. So that you should just have that emergency buffer for a while. And then once you pass through the learning process, which could take like 1 month, 2 months, then 20,000, 30,000 is very easy to hit. Okay, if you're earning like 50,000 and above, then you might not be able to quit right away because of how much you're earning in the corporate world. Like if you're earning 50, 80, 100,000, then it's a bit harder. So that's when you would compare, like, maybe you're doing freelancing on the side, and that's when you would compare the two, corporate world versus freelancing, and weigh the pros and cons. How much time are you spending in corporate? How much stress? And how much time are you spending on freelancing? Are the benefits of freelancing worth it? One thing I'd like to point out, and Holly shared this in the students group a couple of weeks ago, is that when you're making that decision of quitting your job and going into something like freelancing, what you have, one mindset that you can take is that best case and worst case scenario. Okay, so let's say that like you're a call center manager, you're earning 40,000 pesos a month. You're a call center team manager and you're thinking about quitting your job. The worst case scenario, if you quit and go into freelancing, what's the worst case scenario? And the worst case scenario in most of the time will be, you spend a few months trying to freelance, you don't get hired, and then you go back into becoming a call center manager. If you have more than 6 months of working in the call center, then you can easily get the same job when you quit. If you were a manager and you spent more than 6 months doing manager work, you can easily get hired as a manager again. If you're an agent, all the more, it's very easy. So that's the worst case scenario. You can always go back to your original job, your original workplace. The best case scenario, so you compare it to the best case. Best case scenario, if you quit your call center manager job, you go into freelancing. How much can you earn? What are the benefits? The best case scenario is you can realistically, in a few years, in like 3, 4, 5 years, you can make 100,000 pesos a month, and you'll be working at home. You have the freedom of time, freedom of work, what work you want to do. So there are so many. If you compare risks and benefits, there are so many benefits to quitting and going into freelancing than staying in the corporate world. Okay, and please let me know if I answered that question properly or if you have any follow-up questions. Okay, moving on to other questions here. Rustam, and let me drink some coffee here real quick. Rustam Rafael David. He has 2 questions. Number 1, what are your success habits? And number 2, how do you push through your worst times aside from looking back at your goals? And I think I can combine these 2 questions into one answer. So I'm just going to give you one success habit, and that's discipline. It is really discipline. As some of you know, I have a mastermind class where I'm walking through 20 freelancers to become the best versions of themselves and earn 100,000 pesos a month or more. So I have this special group of 20 freelancers that in this very focused class. And one of the most common, I'd say, traits that is holding the students back from becoming the best version of themselves they can be is lack of discipline. It really is discipline that will hold you back. It really is discipline that will make you succeed. So if right now you're wondering what can you do to best assure your success, start building your discipline. And that can be done in many ways. That can be done by working out, by going to the gym. I'm very bad at that, but I should be working out more, like 3 times a week. And that's discipline, because discipline is doing the thing you don't want to do. But and didn't phrase it properly. You know that you have to do it. You know that it's good for you. And discipline is continuing to do that thing even when you don't have the motivation, even when you're not looking at your goals, even when you feel tired. That's what discipline is. So if you feel tired, I don't want to go to the gym, but you still do, that's building discipline. If you can control your spending habits, that's building discipline. And it's important because the practices you build will affect your freelancing career. In freelancing, you have so much freedom. If I don't feel like working, I can just stay in bed all day. I can just ignore my clients' emails. Sometimes I feel like doing that, and sometimes I still do that, but I ignore them for like 1 day and reply the next day. I hope none of my clients are watching this. So discipline is, yeah, like I said, we have so much freedom. And like there are days when you feel like not applying to work, not going to work. That's a really nice benefit of freelancing, is you have that freedom, but it can also be what a con. It can also be the reason why you fail, because there's so much freedom. If you're not disciplined, then you're just gonna not go to work. You're gonna play Dota all day. You're gonna play LOL or Overwatch. I haven't played that yet, and not do anything. But with discipline, you will still do the things you need to do even when you don't feel like it. So that's my answer to your question, Rustam. I hope I answered the question. Let me see who else has questions here. Okay. And so I like the coffee mug with a spoon. Very Filipino. I didn't know that was oh yeah, because they have stirrers in other countries. Yeah, we have spoons. Okay, I'm gonna end. I see a couple of other questions coming in. I will answer Win Soriano's question right now. How do you handle stress? Personally, I'm the kind of person that can really focus on getting things done. When I feel stressed, I just focus on the work. I don't think about anything else. I don't think about I don't worry about will the client be happy? Am I doing the job right? I just do the work, period. So there are no emotions involved. It's just work like a machine. But sometimes stress can get, you can build up a lot of stress if you don't have any stress relievers. My own stress relievers are things like I practice meditation. I should practice it more. I've stopped recently, but meditation is very good to help you relax in times of stress. To help just take a couple of breaths, help you focus, and it's very healthy for you. There are so many benefits of meditation. So just try it. If you want to try it out, start slowly, like with 2 minutes of meditation, 5 minutes of meditation, and so on. So that's something I do. I play games a lot. I play board games and video games. Well, more board games and some video games. I know other people handle stress differently. They go to the gym and so on. But what I'm trying to say here is that it's important for you to have that stress reliever because you can get burnt out. And I've been burnt out before. Burnout is when you keep on doing work, you say, okay, I need to earn more, I need to get this done, I need to get this done, I need to apply to more jobs, I need to earn more money. And you don't leave time for yourself. You don't leave time for fun, for recreation, for family, for friends, and so on. And you just, because you're working so hard, you don't know it, but you have like a limit to how much work you can do. You keep on working so hard, and then once you reach that limit, it's like you explode, and then you don't feel like working at all. You know, it's just like one whole day where it's like you're just tired, and this is when discipline comes in. But it's really important for you not to get to that point. So that's why you should have the balanced life. I know of, and going back to the call center environment, I just remember a story from, we had a manager back in the day who was working so hard, that they got like a heart attack, because they were doing overtime all the time. They were so stressed with getting their agents to, and it's really important. So even if you're not freelancing, it's important for you to have a balanced life, and be able to have those stress relievers. Cynthia De Ocampo, if I want to be a social media marketing specialist, what are the skills that I need to learn? Do I need to learn SEO and WordPress? Kailangan pa ba good writer din? Cynthia, take the free social media course I have on the website. Let me just get the freesocialmediacourse.com. Oh, sorry. Let's see if, yeah. So I'm going to post the link here. But I'm posting the link, Cynthia, for the free social media course. So take that. I won't answer your question directly because it's not exactly related, but you will learn like the skills you need to know in that course, in that free course. Dudesy, WordPress and SEO. Let's see, WordPress and SEO. I do have some free courses about that. Look in the Facebook group. You'll find that there are free courses for WordPress. There's free courses for SEO as well. Let me go through this. Let me see what other questions we have here. How much the training? Check out the website and you'll find out there. We do have different training classes. Oh, hi, Glenmark. Warm hello from one member of the Road to 100K Masterclass. Yep, Glenmark is one of our students in the masterclass, and we have great plans for you, Glenn, and everybody else who is attending. Like Enzo's here too, Anna's here. So we have a number of students from the masterclass who are watching. Welcome. And I'm excited for tonight. We're having our second session at 8 p.m. tonight. For the masterclass students, sorry, most of you guys can't attend it because it's only for the students. Anyway, moving on. Anna Serviano is asking, what are the challenges you encountered in freelancing and how did you overcome them? So there are lots of challenges in freelancing. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the biggest challenges was I had to learn everything on my own. I had to do my own research and so on, and it was tough. What's one challenge that I can point out that can be relevant? Let me think here real quick. I guess one challenge that a lot of you will face also is selling yourself. When it comes to freelancing, you will have to learn to be, in Bisaya, bagagnaon. In Tagalog, it's kupal, kapal na mukha. You have to learn how to have that, to be thick-skinned. That's what it is in English. To be thick-skinned, because and we're not used to this as Filipinos. As Filipinos, Americans are very used to this. Westerners are very used to being kupal, to being bagagnaong, because it's in their culture. But for Asian cultures, it's not that common. It's something that we will have to learn, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge to freelancing, because to succeed, you have to sell basically yourself, to sell your services, to tell clients that I'm good, I can do this. And how did I overcome that challenge? There are ways to deal with clients that you don't need to be you don't need to feel bad when you're selling yourself. And I guess one thing is confidence. Once you're very confident in your skills, once you know that, okay, this thing, like, let's say social media, I know social media well, or Facebook ads, because I'm pretty good with that. I know Facebook ads very well. I'm confident in my skills. So if I tell a client that I can do this, I know I can do it. So confidence in yourself really matters. You're welcome, Rustam. Anna, what is the ratio of available freelance jobs versus freelancers? Is the demand for freelancers a competition? So talking about competition, when it comes to freelancing, there is a lot of competition. That's true. Everywhere you go, there is a lot of competition. And anything that freelancing is very attractive because you can earn a lot of money while working from home. And you will face a lot of competition, especially at the entry level. There's a lot of competition at the entry level. So you have to find ways to make yourself stand out. Okay, you will have to beat the competition in some ways. And one thing you have to remember is that 90% of most people don't have discipline. They try, and you'll see this. You'll see this everywhere. We see it a lot in the Philippines where people want freebies. You mean I have to work hard for it? Wag na lang, I say like, oh, how do I get that? And I see this a lot in people where they see that I earn a lot and they say, okay, how do you earn a lot? I say, okay, this is what you have to do. How do you build a business, or how do you start freelancing? This is what you have to do. You have to do all these steps. And then they say, oh, wag na lang, it's too hard. Hirap naman. So most people will give up. Most people don't have the discipline, don't have the hard work in them. So that's one competitive advantage you can have over other people. Just continuing to work hard, continuing to learn, continuing to persevere more than other people will make you succeed. And it's not just me who's saying this. Like, if you talk to a lot of successful people, they'll say that what matters is you being able to continue, even when you fail, picking yourself up and continuing and just pushing, keep on pushing. Like I keep on saying in Workahome Pinoy, is keep pushing, keep praying, keep going, and you can succeed. Hannah Buenavente, do you have your own SOP when accepting tasks, or do clients normally assign them? Hannah, this depends on the kind of work that you're doing for our clients. If you're like a virtual assistant, then it would depend on what the client assign you. If you do a fixed task, some of us, and when you get more experience in freelancing, you'll probably be able to know what tasks you want to do, like SEO, you can be a social media and so on, social media specialist. And by that time, when you have the experience, when you already know what you're focusing on, you can have your own SOP. You're going to be the one telling clients that, hey, Mr. Jones, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. And right now, that's what I do. Clients don't really assign me work. I tell them what needs to be done. Okay, but when you're starting, most of the time when you're starting, you'll have to like accept, especially when you're not sure what you want to do yet, you're going to have to like have clients assign work to you. And there's like a long period. Well, there's a lot of things that need to be done before you can get to the point where you have your own SOP. We don't have enough time to discuss it in this session. Johanna, I have one email you have not read and answered. Okay, sorry, I get like more than 100 emails a day, so it's kind of hard. And PMs, sorry guys, I can't like answer PMs because it's just too much. I get too many PMs. I get answers indirectly, maybe from the Facebook group. Yes, I'm learning many things in the bootcamp, when especially as discipline. Okay, thank you, Joanna. If I haven't answered, probably post it in the students' Facebook group, or email me again. Sorry, I try to answer as much as possible, especially in the students group. So if you post it there, I'll probably answer it, and tag me also. Discipline, determination, patience, and hard work. So Arlene saying, discipline, determination, patience, and hard work. I really need these at my present situation. I have to finish my accelerated course. Very challenging and a tough road, so many struggles, but I know in the end, it will all be worth it. Thanks, Sir Jason, for all the motivation and inspiration. God bless. You're welcome. Glad to provide that inspiration, but you're right. It really takes discipline, determination, patience, and hard work to succeed. And like I see, and a lot of my students are watching this as well. One thing I have to say to you is that, you may notice like the course is not very easy. We have quizzes and they're pretty tough. But the reason why the quizzes are tough, the reason why the course is not very easy is because we're already training you to succeed as a freelancer. Like the quizzes, a lot of people are saying the quizzes are so hard. They're harder than like any other quizzes you've taken in your life. And that's true for a lot. You have to fail and fail again. And you can only pass if you get 100% in our quizzes. So it's very strict. And You'll have to do your own research. You'll have to watch lessons over and over again. And it's hard work, but freelancing is hard work. And Molina Juan, how can I enroll? Check out the website, wfhr.io. I'm just gonna point it here. Here's the main website. I'm just posting it here so that you can see it and look at the virtual assistant bootcamp. That's where you can get started. Omi, do I have to quit my current job to start freelancing, or can I do both? You can do both, Omi. And if you rewind to when I answered Anna Serviano's first question about when's the right time to quit, I suggest you listen to that. I'm not going to repeat the same thing over again, but listen to that. It was probably like 15 minutes ago, I'd say. You can do both at the same time, but I'd say as soon as you can quit, then quit. As soon as you have like an emergency fund, then you can quit. This Chinese or Korean character said, "Good day. How can I start without enrolling your bootcamp? I thought you have a free course for someone that really wanted." Yes, there's a free course. It's like below my face. There's that free course. You don't need to enroll in the bootcamp to get started. In fact, there are people who have been like, I learned on my own. The bootcamp just, gives you it holds your hand and walks you through, gives you like step-by-step guidance. But you can still succeed even if you don't have the step-by-step guidance. It's like if you're learning how to fix a car. I can't think of anything right now. How to fix a car. You can learn on your own. You'll get there eventually, or you can have somebody teach you. So it's something like that. Okay, Lizzie, I'll be glad to. Oh, what happened to take the advice of Jason? Okay, good. Christina Reyes, freelancing is hard work. Starting to realize that, and anything that there is so much upside to freelancing. There are so many benefits. Answering Christina Reyes's comment here, there are so many benefits to freelancing. Anything with a lot of benefits is hard work. Like when I was working in the call center to get promoted, it was hard work. Other people will say you're lucky. But luck is when hard work meets opportunity, and it's still hard work that wins in these cases. So Omi, no problem. You can always rewind. I think after this ends, you can rewind and watch that part again. I spent like 10 minutes talking about it. Okay, it seems like we don't have any further questions. If you do have questions, please just post in the comments. If you found this useful, I'd also appreciate it if you shared this post. I only see one share. I'm not sure if Facebook is updated because it's only showing one share. Usually we get more shares. So if you found this useful, please share it with other people so that they can also learn about freelancing and they can escape the corporate life. Oh, there's another question here by Lynn Blanco Ancheta. Do you still get rejections even at this time? How do you handle it? Yes, I still get rejections when I talk to clients. And I actually, sometimes I like getting rejections, actually. I just move on. Well, at my point, the thing is, at my point, when I bid for work, I don't need new work anymore. I'm already okay with the amount of work I have. So if I get rejected, it's like, okay, fine. I'm already okay right now. Back when I didn't have that much work, it was more painful to get rejected. But you learn. If you can ask the client why they rejected you, you can say, hey, I just want to get some feedback. That's very useful if the client can tell you why they rejected you, so you can learn and then make changes to how you approach the client and then keep on getting better and better. Otherwise, you just move on to the next client. That's what you have to do. Because if you let it affect you, you shouldn't let it affect you personally. Because if you let it affect you, then you're going to get discouraged. You're going to lose your motivation, and then that's the time when you just quit. You don't learn from your mistakes, and you end up quitting and going back to the corporate life or wherever. So you just have to move on. Learn as much as you can from the rejection, and then move on. That's how you handle it. Sir Jason, how can I get a client? Take the free course underneath my face, and you can it'll guide you through what you need to do. Okay. So thank you everybody for attending. Once again, did it freeze? Sophia and okay, I thought it froze for a moment. Sophia and Cyville, take the free course, join the Facebook group. That's where I suggest you start. Start with general work, virtual assistant work. And we're closing up. So I'm just going to close up right now. I will have another Facebook Live session next Saturday. I'll ask the Facebook group, like, what topic do you want me to talk about? What do you call yourself, Jason? Are they? Yeah, I'm what you consider an online marketer, and online funnel specialist. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for attending, guys. Once again, we'll have one next Saturday. I'm just gonna ask you guys in the Facebook group what topic you want, so we can have another discussion here. So I do want to go back and just repeat that it's very important to build discipline. That's what you need to do at this point. Discipline, so that when you feel demotivated, when you feel stressed, when you feel like you don't want to work anymore, you will just keep going and keep pushing. Okay? So you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next week.